Good morning, everybody. This is Mark Cox with at Real Talk with Mark Cox. I know usually I got guests that I have on with me and stuff like that, but right now I wanted to do one on just some discipline, guys. Okay, something I'm going through myself, and I thought maybe I'd share this with you. You know how if you guys are fans of Jocko and how he kind of breaks down books and stuff like that. Well, I got his book on the discipline equals freedom. It's a field manual type of book. It's a super easy read, but man, the information in here is just awesome, just to tell you the truth. And I thought, you know what? Why don't we do this together a little bit? And this will take care of, uh, one of my podcasts. I'll get it out there so everybody can take a look at what I'm, kind of what I'm reading through and stuff like right now. And maybe this will be something that will ring clear to you. We'll see. So here's what Jocko's book is. All right, here's how it starts off. I did this on Master Motivation here a little bit ago, but here's what it's called. It says the way of discipline. People look for a shortcut, the hack. And if you come here looking for that, you won't find it. The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want to be. Stronger, smarter, faster, healthier, better, free. To reach goals and overcome obstacles and become the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way. There's only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline. Discipline. Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of a daily execution, the core principle that overcomes laziness and lethargic and excuses. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses, they say. Not today, not now. I need a rest. I will do it tomorrow. What's the hack? How do you become stronger, smarter, faster, healthier? How do you become better? How do you achieve true freedom? There's only one way, the way of discipline. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I read that, and when I first read it, right? I first read it and I'm like, wow, man, this really hits home because I'm a martial arts instructor, right? And I found myself making excuses like this quite often, as a matter of fact. And I thought, wow. So we think we have this discipline, but do we have it? So there's certain areas that we have discipline in, right? So we think and so we say. And so I said, well, why don't we dabble into this a little bit more? This here, right? As martial artists or as instructors, or we say and we talk about discipline, and then we really talk about self discipline and what self discipline is and how it works in your life. So, and for me, I, when I went down this journey of losing this weight, you know, the journey continues, but when I first did it, and then you hit this 100-pound weight loss, and you're like, "Wow, man, that's pretty awesome." So, right, the most people thinking, "Well, that's you got to be disciplined to do that." And guess what? You do have to be disciplined to do it because there is no hack. It is true right here. The shortcut is a lie. The hack doesn't get you there. Man, it took me a year and a half to do it. Okay. A year and a half. Didn't happen overnight. Just seems like it happens overnight because people aren't used to seeing you, and they see you and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much different you look, or whatever that is. But it was a process, a mindset of what I had to do for myself and what I was going to do, right? So I had to have the mindset first, and then I worked towards that. But now, with that being said, right? Am I disciplined in all areas of my life? Am I really? Are we disciplined in our finances? Are we disciplined in our relationships? Are we, everything takes some kind of a discipline, but are we really there? Or do we really have it? Right? That's the questions. I mean, I know you guys are listening to me right now, but when I ask you that question, I mean, what do you think? Are we really disciplined? I'm a martial arts instructor. Am I teaching discipline? Or how am I teaching it? How do you teach discipline? Can discipline be taught? I believe that discipline can be taught because it just goes in increments, right? And so when I was going on my journey, it was a little bit here, or maybe it's your journey. Maybe you're trying to do a CrossFit game, or you're doing a mud run, or something to that effect, or your weight loss, or your martial arts career, or whatever it is you're trying to do, and you have to be disciplined. You have to do more work than the other person is. Okay. Discipline, it says here, Jocko says, at the root of all good qualities, right? It says here to reach a goal, overcome obstacles, and become the best version of you possible. It doesn't happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. I've had this so many times, and doing 75 hard or whatever it is I'm doing. I had it the other night when I had a group of students coming over that are getting ready for jujitsu tournament. And then what happens? We have an 8 o'clock workout. I don't feel like doing it. You know, could I made excuses of it? Yes, but man, then I'm going to look like kind of a jackass, right? When I'm just not feeling it and stuff like that. Because if they said that to me, I would have been all over that. I would have jumped all over them. And so here I am saying the same thing. 8 o'clock rolls around, got to roll out of bed, and we got to get this workout in. And that's exactly what we did. And man, and we got to it. So I guess it's a struggle, right? Everything's a struggle. Everybody struggles with something for sure. That was a struggle for me that day, and just discipline in for real, right? Do we make excuses on why things didn't get done? I'm too tired. I was too busy. I was too this. I was too that. Man, I've made those excuses. Have you? Have you made them? Because I sure have. I'm just like, man, stop whining and get done what needs to get done. So let's move on here, okay? So if you guys are looking, if you guys get the book, you can follow along on some of this as I break down some of this book, you know, and it says, where does discipline come from? This is Jocko's. Where does discipline come from? Where does discipline come from? This is a simple answer. Discipline comes from within. Discipline is an internal force. Sure, you can have discipline imposed on you by a person like a drill sergeant, a karate instructor, or that self-help guru on TV, but the reality is he won't give you real discipline because that external discipline is not strong. It will not survive. It cannot stand on its own. What you're looking for and what you need is self-discipline. Self-discipline, as the very term implies, comes from the self, comes from you. It comes when you make a decision to be disciplined, when you make a decision to be better. When you make a decision to do more, to be more, self-discipline comes when you decide to make a mark on the world. If you don't think you are disciplined, it is because you haven't decided to be disciplined yet. It is because you haven't created it yet. You haven't become it yet. So where does it come from? It comes from you. So make the decision, make the commitment, become disciplined, embrace its cold and relentless power, and it will make you better and stronger and smarter and faster and healthier than anything else. And most important, it will make you free. Pretty powerful stuff right here. Where does it come from? We talk about this as martial arts instructor, I think, all the time. We talk about you need to be more disciplined. You need to be more disciplined. You need to be more self-disciplined. Disciplined is somebody telling you what to do. Like he says in here, it states like a drill sergeant or your instructor or your football coach is disciplining you on the field or disciplining you on the mat, disciplining you in basic training. That's all disciplined. It needs to come from you to become self-disciplined. That means you tell yourself what you need to discipline yourself to, and you become stronger, faster, healthier, mentally more, I think, for it. Correct? So, I mean, what do you guys think about that? You see where, discipline, right? You don't want to have it imposed on you. You want to be able to be self-disciplined so things come to you and you are making a difference for yourself in your day-to-day routines or your day-to-day workouts, however that looks. So let's move on from that here. Let's move on and see what he says here. This, I think, has to be a really good one here. So we're doing this together, right? Overcoming procrastination. When and where to start. Jocko's here. This is his book, right? Overcoming procrastination. People want to know how to stop laziness. They want to know how to stop procrastination. They have an idea in their head, maybe even a vision, but they don't know where to start. So they ask and they say, where do I start? When is the best time to start? And I have just a simple answer: here and now. This is it. You can want to improve. You want to get better. You want to get on a workout program or a clean diet or start a new business. You want to write a book or make a movie or build a house or a computer or an app. Where do you start? You start right here. When do you start? You start right now. Your initiation action, you go. Here's the reality: the idea isn't going to execute itself. That book is going to not going to write itself. Those weights out in the gym, they aren't going to move themselves. You have to do it, and you have to do it now. So stop thinking about it. Stop dreaming about it. Stop researching every aspect of it and reading all about it and debating the pros and cons of it. Start doing it. Take the first step and make it happen. Get after it here and now. Wow, that's pretty powerful, right? Where procrastination is. I mean, have we? I listen. Being a school owner, I can't tell you how many times I've heard this. Right? Well, I want to start, but I need to be in shape to start. What? What? Okay, I want to go to the gym, but I need to be in shape for the gym, or I'm going to be embarrassed at the gym, or whatever that looks like. I'm going to be embarrassed on the mat, or so I want to research it a little bit more. I want to know what protein I have to have. Do I get a fat burner? Do I not? Do I do this diet? Do I not? Man, just get going. Stop talking yourself out of things that you should do, is what I got out of this, right? I mean, read it right here, right? When I have a simple answer: here and now. That's it. You want to improve, you want to get better, you want to get a workout program, clean diet, then do it. Listen, man, when I made the decision on myself, man, I was like, man, I got to get to it. And then was there setbacks? Of course there were setbacks, man. They sucked. And but I just forged ahead. I'm trying to get that in some other areas now, because procrastination is going to kill you, man. I procrastinated so long that all of a sudden, wham, I'm 60 years old, and now I'm doing jujitsu, and I've always had a love for it, but now it's it has happened where I'm more motivated and more disciplined, I guess is what the better word is, to get out there and start doing it. All right. As far as going to the gym, hey guys, I've been where everybody's at. I know how it feels to step into the gym and feel like all eyes are on you. To be honest, I've seen it a few times, right, where somebody heavy is coming into the gym, and you can hear some whispers here and there, but I've never really seen it, you know, to a degree that somebody has like walked out of the school. I think a lot of times we look at ourselves so terrible that we feel that everybody else is doing the same thing, or feeling or looking at us the same way. I think we have a way of, this is right, this is what talks us out of going to the gym, right? We're like, last time I was there, I felt all eyes on me and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that didn't happen, but of course that can possibly happen. And or in your martial arts class, I know that I've become a little bit more. It's important to me to have, when new students come on the mat, that I can meet them where they're at in their physical stuff and what they can and can't do. You know why? Because I'm not my 30-year-old self anymore that could pop up and do things when you're young that you can do, and after your body gets wrecked after a while, you need to do something a little bit different, and that's what I had to do, uh, even so today. And so don't procrastinate on what others think. What other people think about you guys is none of your business, right? You can only control you. We can't control them. We can't control them. We're not going to let them get in our head where we can't go to the next level. You might be the one in the gym that you think everybody's looking at, and then pretty soon you're going to change your whole way of looking, and then guess what? Everybody is going to be looking at you and asking you the questions on, man, how can I make that happen? How did you do this, and how can I make it happen? Excuse me. And there you're off teaching somebody else how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I know. What do you guys think about that? I think that to be, when you really think about it, I think, man, I guess that's true. So that lays in. So procrastination is one. What lays in is the person who can you can control. Who's the person you can control? Anybody who's been married or relationships or anything of that sort, you know that there's only one person that you can control or change, and that is yourself. Well, let's see what Jocko says about this. People are not who you want them to be. Kill your idols. Sure, there are things we can learn from people, but people aren't going to be what you think they are, what they should be. People, even those people you have put on a pedestal, are going to be faulted, weak, economically, condescending. They are going to be lazy, entitled, short sighted. They will not be perfect, far from it. That's fine. Learn from their weakness of Learn from their weakness. Of course, learn from their strengths and mimic and copy them in what they do well. But equally as important, learn from their faults. See what not to do, because you can't control other people. You can't make them what you want them to be. You can't make them who you want them to be. The only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want you to be: faster, stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. Discipline your body, free your mind, get up early and go. Get after it, and you will become the person you want to be, and become that person through one small decision at a time. Well, that's pretty powerful stuff, right? I think that's pretty true in what we have, right? Whether it's relationships, whether it's our own mind games of what we can do. The only person who's in control of you, we do we control our own destiny? Yes. Do we control our own mind thoughts? Yes. So what do? We place the blame, or do we have some ownership and say, man, I've done this. I mean, this hit home right here for me, guys. It really did. Let me read where this is. The only person who controls yourself: faster, stronger. Okay, the only person you can control is you. So focus on making yourself who you want to be. I want to be faster. I want to be stronger, smarter, more humble, less ego. Discipline your body, free your mind. Man, this hits home for me. Just so you know, just as I'm reading through this with you guys and we're doing this together. This thing about being more humble and less ego. Boy, those two things are rough. Man, they're hard. You know what I mean? I know that it's hard to even talk about yourself, because you say you want to be more humble, and then you're going to talk about your story. And how can you be humble if you're talking about yourself? And all I can relate to, guys, is just me, my personal stories on what I feel. All right, and I know as I've gotten to be an older man, humility comes in many forms. Okay. Humility comes when you think that you're this awesome parent, and then something goes awry with your children. Then, or you're humiliated, you're humbled by life itself, right? I mean, you get up and you're knocked in the gut. You turn your face, you get hit in the cheek, and you are getting taking it on the chin on a daily basis. Then you get on the mat, and man, I'm telling you, my jujitsu journey has humbled me like no other, man, because I get tapped out like all the time, all the time. And I'm just like, man, it just learns, like, keep your mouth shut, do the work. You're not all that you think you are, right? You're just not. You might think you're in what you are in this small circle that you have around you, but you are definitely not the end all be all, right? So with humility comes less ego, right? And a pastor of ours once time said ego is edging God out, EGO, edging God out. Being a believer, I believe that's true, right? We always kind of have a think that we can do things better than what God can do them. And then guess what? We get humbled again, humbled in life. And I just, this just really hit home for me on who you can control and how to become the better person, right? One small decision at a time. Thanks, Jocko. It's a pretty powerful one on this one, for sure. For sure. Mind control. Let's talk to see what his thoughts is on mind control. When people think of the words mind control, they think of people's controlling the minds of other people, not me. I think about controlling my own mind. Sure, we are physical beings and we must obviously embrace our physicality, but we are our minds. And I'm not going to philosoph- philosophical on what that means and where the you actually is, whether it is soul or your brain or your heart or some other conjured up place. What I do know is this: you, your mind, the thing that is reading and comprehending these words right now, this is you. And you can control it. You are the machine and you control it. People ask me, how do I get tougher and be tougher? How can I wake up early in the morning, wake up early? Right? People ask, and let's go over that one more time, guys. People ask me, how do I get tougher? Well, be tougher. How do I how can I wake up early in the morning? What, wake up early in the morning? How can I work out consistently every day? Work out consistently every day. How can I stop eating sugar? Stop eating sugar. You can even control your emotions. How can I stop missing that girl or guy, whoever broke up with me? Stop missing them. You have control over your mind. You just have to assert it. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote. Frustration doesn't get a vote. Negativity doesn't get a vote. Your temper doesn't get a vote. So next time you are feeling weak or lazy or soft or emotional, tell those feelings they don't get a vote. Wow, pretty right. Mind control, trying to control others when we got to control ourselves. Once again, weakness doesn't get a vote, laziness doesn't get a vote, sadness doesn't get a vote, frustration doesn't get a vote, your temper does not get a vote, man. That just puts it all into play right there, right? I mean, just wow. You know, how much do we really let this stuff get into our heads? I guess it's true, right? Because as an instructor, too, people ask me, well, how do I get better kicks? Kick better. How do I get a better mindset and have a better mindset? How do I punch harder? Punch harder. I mean, pretty simple stuff, right? It's hard to answer these questions, right? Hey, how do I get tougher, Mr. Cox? Uh, I don't know, bro. You got to get tougher. What can I tell you? That's a mindset. That's a mind control. You control your mind, or your mind controls you. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets. I think Jocko is right on the money here. Inside your head, right? Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness, sadness, frustration, negativity, bad temper, none of that stuff. It all stays in your head, but it should never get a vote. Never get a vote. You are declaring martial law on your mind control. Impose what you want on your brain: discipline, power, positivity, will, and use that mind control to move your life where you want it to be: stronger, smarter, quicker, friendlier, more helpful, more driven. Don't let your mind control you. Control your mind, and then you can set it free. We just talked about that a second ago, right? It's really good. Really good, guys. You know, when I competed, I've told this story before. If you've been around me for a while, you've known this. You know that there was this tournament cycle called the USKL, United States Karate League, and man, we competed in this thing every single weekend to get seeded for the grand championships. Myself and Bo and Carlin and all of us that went after this thing and we competed. This is in the 90s. And I was competing in self-defense and I competed in breaking. I did a little bit of fighting and stuff like that. So where I was seated was this breaking division and self-defense division, and I'm coming up on this year and I'm the top seed, right? We've been going back and forth. This guy's been battling me back and forth on who's the top seed and who's not the top seed. I get the top seed, which means I get to go last, which is major in big tournaments because, you get to leave the lasting impression on a judge, right? And what that looks like. And wow, how does that, I'm going to get up here, I'm going to smoke it. And then, they kind of remember your performance and stuff like that. So that's how that worked. So mind control is so important in this lesson. I am breaking stacks of bricks. And I had a break that I used to put cinder blocks on both sides of my arm, and I would come down and I would break them with my elbows, boom, this way, and I'd have 5 or 6 on each side, and I would just, boom. And I remember every once in a while I would miss one side, right? Because it wasn't equal power and something like that. So, I mean, you had to approach that thing and you had to go through the side that you thought was not as strong, and you had to go through it and just boom and break. So here's what I did. It's the world It's the world championships in this league, right? And I'm the last one up. I'm ready to compete. I have broken everything, okay? I mean, I have smoked this competition. I'm coming up to my last one. I should have been so amped up. I should have went up to that thing. I should have went 1-2 and just smashed things because I was so amped. But I sat there for a second and I reflected back on all the times it took me to get to this thing. And then I was setting up myself on the bricks, and I'm setting them up, and I'm ready to go. And my elbows are coming down, and I hit those bricks. And right before I hit it, I didn't say, man, when you smash these things, you become the world champion. I said, if I miss this, all that work is for nothing. And guess what I did? I hit those things, and my left side did not break. And when you don't break in high-level competition like that, you lose. And that is exactly what happened to me. I am the second place, which to me was the first loser. I spent 12 months getting top seed only to blow it because my mindset was weak. Okay? That is how powerful your mind and what you tell yourself it is. And it sucked. And it really sucked. So that's just one of my stories. You guys can get out of that. So let's talk about weakness here. And Jocko, his next one about it is weakness, right? Do I have weakness? Is what Jocko says. Do I have weakness? Am I nothing but weakness? I'm not naturally strong or fast or flexible. I am certainly not the smartest person in the world. I get emotional over stupid things. I eat the wrong foods. I don't sleep enough. I procrastinate and waste time. I care too much about meaningless things and not enough about important things. My ego's too big. My mind is too small, often trapped inside itself. Not all that being said, I have a saying: a person's strength is often their biggest weakness, but their weakness can become strengths. I am weak in all those ways. I am weak, but I don't accept that. I don't accept that I am what I am and that is what I'm doomed to be. No, I do not accept it. I am fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling and I'm scrapping and kicking and clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win, but some days I don't. But each and every day I get back up and I move forward with my fl- fist clenched towards the battle, towards the struggle, and I fight. I fight with everything I've got to overcome those weaknesses and those shortfalls and those flaws as I strive to be just a little bit better today than I was yesterday. Wow. Thanks, Jocko. It was awesome. Do I have weakness? Am I nothing but weakness? I get emotional over stupid things. I eat wrong foods. I don't sleep enough. Does any of this stuff sound like something that you have said yourself? Right? Man, I've said so many of them, right? Isn't it easy for us to have weakness talk on ourselves, right? If I ask, a group of my students, sometimes I do this. I said, "Hey, tell me some of your negative qualities you think you have." And man, they can rattle off so many stuff. I'm this, I'm that, I suck at this, I don't do this well, and da da da. And I said, "Okay, give me your best qualities." And I mean, they have to stop. They have to think, and they have to think because we just don't think we have good qualities. Why, that goes back to our mind control, right? Or if we're going to accept our weaknesses, do we accept them or do we excel? Do we accept or do we excel? Mm, wow, I don't know. It's pretty profound, to be honest with you. A person's strength is often their biggest weakness. Hmm. But their weakness can become strengths. I am weak in all those ways. I am weak, but I don't accept it. See, once again, guys, this is a mind thing, right? Competitive, being a competitor on the mat, stuff I've learned even myself, how it relates to martial arts, how it relates to relationships, all that kind of stuff. You know, this is it, man. Tell me, you my Krav guys out there, right? Or my martial artists. All martial artists should be this, right? We say it for Krav because it's just their fighting mentality, right? I don't accept that. I'm not doomed. I'm fighting. I'm always fighting. I'm struggling. I'm scrapping. I'm kicking. I'm clawing at those weaknesses to change them, to stop them. Some days I win, but some days I don't. Man, that's the key, right? Some days we get it. Sometimes we hit it out of the park. Sometimes we don't. But every day I get better, right? Isn't that just what training is all about? Guys, for real, when you train now, okay, now I talk about martial arts or I talk about the gym or stuff like that. That's my world. Whether you're training in other things, whatever that may be, right? Every time you train, do you get better? Right? That's the real question. Every time I train, am I getting better? So, let's say we learned an armbar and we weren't real good at it the day we learned it. So we get together with our tribe or who our workout partners are. We work this armbar again, boom and boom and boom, and it starts to become part of us. And we train that day. So were we better today than I was yesterday at it? You better believe it, right? And so if we practice it again, right, and I train it up again and I'm training it again, do you think that I'm better that day than I was the day before? See, that's the beauty of training. That's the beauty of moving forward. It's not some days I get it and then I'm going to leave on that high. And the days that I don't, I'm just going to pack it up. That's just not a mindset. That's not a mindset of a winner, guys. And Jocko says it good here. That's just not the mindset of a winner. All right. It's just not. I think that I think when you guys do self-doubt talk, that becomes your weakness. And I'm guilty of that myself too. I do the same thing, man. I listen to me. I am nobody's choir boy, just so everybody knows, man, right? I'm not here to preach to the choir or tell the choir what they need to know or what they don't need to know. That's just not me. I'm at my age now, and I'm still picking up books and learning stuff because I just did this with my instructors, right? I just did this. I just talked about how to be a passionate instructor What does that look like? What did my path look like? What was I like in the beginning? To what am I today? Doesn't mean I'm still not kind of a hardcore instructor. I am that, but all the lessons learned through the time has helped me become just a better human, a better teacher, a better mentor, and that's what I'm trying uh, to do at this point, right? So, how much do I love, man? I really enjoyed coming up the ranks, and I still really enjoy training. But man, when I have my students get to do something, they get it. That just rocks me, man. I love it. Then when I teach somebody to become a teacher, and I watch their students get it, that just energizes me even more to watch this ball start to roll and these guys, and then to watch their students get better every time we get together and test. That is the most awesome thing for me. I just sit back. Sometimes I'm just quiet, but I just sit back in amazement going, man, these ladies and gentlemen are killing it. And they are helping their students do the same thing. And it's just been a great thing to see. So on this podcast, we talk about discipline equals freedom and what that's looking like. And I thought going through a field manual would be good because Jocko does this. And so I would break it up in bits and pieces, so it's kind of an easy ride home, right? And sometimes I'm not always doing the interviews. Sometimes I started with a podcast, guys, and I've always liked podcasting. I've started this a couple years ago now, and I've always enjoyed it and giving you guys my stories. The interview process helps me get better on the air, and that's kind of where I'm going with it now. And I've got some great people in my life, man. People that just make a real difference for me, and just the human story stuff what people go through. I don't know. It's always been an awesome thing to do the interviews because I do them. I don't rehearse them. I have a little couple notes written down about who they are personally. So there's some things I don't want to go over, but for the most part, it's pretty raw. It's pretty real, right? Real talk. That's what it is. And so I've really enjoyed this. So, this is just one of those times that I wanted to speak to you guys just from me to you, and I'm gonna do a little bit more of this book. I'm gonna read through a little bit more, and then I'm gonna have another podcast on going through Jocko's, field man and the difference it can make, or it has made in my life. And I just want to thank you guys, man. If you can do me a favor, man, this really helps out. Okay, if you can go wherever you are, Spotify, Apple. If you go to my website, which is markcox.com, that is my podcast website, and then you can go and you can see all the places that you can subscribe for the podcast. And if you could do that, it really helps in ratings. It really helps kind of your podcast, And I'm kind of I'm the low man on this pole, right? I'm working my way up. So if you guys can go do that, and then if you can leave a review, that helps out so much when you guys leave reviews. Did it help out? Did it do any of this? That's what I would really appreciate. Okay. And so if I don't know if you guys let me know too, I have a new camera. I've invested in some new mics also. I have really good mics, and I just got this new 4K camera also since I'm doing a lot more of these. See, and as we continue on, guys, if you go to my website, you're going to see this little coffee cup, right? And if you push on the coffee cup, it's like buying me a cup of coffee, right? So you can go in there and you can buy a cup of coffee for $5 or 3 cups of coffee for 15. And this is what helps kind of buy new material not material, buy new stuff for the podcast, upgrade computers, and do what we do, so we have a good professional sounding one. If you guys feel so inclined to do that, I would love it. If you go in and you can become a member also, just for the year, it's not really expensive at all. But if you guys go in there and buy any kind of cup of coffee, I get notifications. Once I get the notification, guys, I'm going to send you out a gift from Real Talk to your address. I'll reach out to you and get an address, and I'm going to send you out a gift as a thank you. Thanks for keep on growing the podcast, guys. Hopefully that you're getting something out of it. I know when I do these myself, I get tremendous value from it. And if you do too, do me a favor and share it with your friends, okay? Take this video and share it. Take my link to do the audio. Audio is where I've started, audio where I've always been, okay? Anything interview-wise is always have an audio podcast a day of. All right. So I take any of my video stuff and I always have an audio version of it so you guys can enjoy it while you're driving, whether you're, around, maybe you're doing some chores and you want to have something, maybe you're working out a little bit and want to hear me in your ear a little bit, I would appreciate it. All right. So much love, guys. That is it for today. All right. Relatively short, 40 minutes, a good, easy listen. Have an awesome, awesome day in a week. I love you guys. Till next time.